Hope you enjoy everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Sellavin and my latest review on Yugioh Archive episode on 119, The Little Bird Trapped in Darkness. And I gotta admit, this title definitely sums up this episode very well. Overall, well, let's get started. I mean, the beginning of the episode, we get to see that it started off the last couple episodes, like 2 episodes back, that Shun was warned by Kite that his sister had changed, and Edo, aka Aster, told Kite that there was someone in the academia who could manipulate people, control their minds or whatever, make them do stuff that they don't want to do. Basically, mind control. Overall, if you gotta think about it. I gotta admit, this episode, is definitely very unique. And, I like it, but overall, let's get started. I'm gonna start with number 10, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. I mean, I say that best summed up the situation, because Shun, he wants to see his sister so bad. He doesn't know that, no, he doesn't believe that Kite, it doesn't think that she has changed, like, overall. If she's under the same mind control, she pushed Kite off a cliff. What more convincing do you need? Think about it. So, Shun's always been stubborn. Been very stubborn since the moment we met him. He's always been aggressive, headstrong. So, even though he gives his sister a hug, she looks like she can see him, but she doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the whole situation, the whole story. Alright, but that is until number 9. She goes up and attacks him. She lunges at him. Asks him to duel. She until then he doesn't believe her. Until then he doesn't believe. But he wanted to see his sister so badly that he really ran up the tower to go see her, despite Kite's warning. He doesn't care. He wants to see his sister overall. He doesn't care, despite that. But now he knows that she's changed. She's completely different. Overall. Also, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give them that. Number 8, watching from the shadows. Because so that's what I'm gonna see this as best. Watching from the shadows, because it's best described because the professor and the doctor, we have no idea what his full name is. We just call him the doctor. They're just watching as Shun and Ruri about to duel, and the doctor's literally ecstatic, seeing how his parasite monster handles the tearing the bond between brother and sister. I'm like, this guy is literally a freak. I'm like, this guy. I literally is watching his creation, seeing two people who care about each other, who are family, fighting, going up against each other. I'm like, seriously, it's all for his own sake, seriously. So that's pretty messed up when you think about it. Overall, from a moral standpoint, excuse me, there's something I have to readjust. I'm sorry. The standpoint of this is this. It's overall very humane. It's like inhumane. You're forcing people to fight, and one of them's brainwashed, and the other one can't fight against his own family. Overall, from a moral standpoint. Number 7, him the hunted. We get to see Sartori roaming through the forest, crows going after him, but someone is chasing him. How this dude literally he runs to the edge of the forest and literally falls off. Don't worry, he's fine. And Sartori is one of the many things he is crafty. And crafty. He may not be a genius, but he can survive. He can survive. And, number 6, the dude. Shun starts off at first, brings out his signature, his raid raptors, after vanishing lanius, he even his reflect is, which can be treated as a vanishing lanius and also be counted as 2 monsters. Then summon out his signature monster raid raptors, Rise Falcon, and he does his best, he summons out his Exceeds monster right on the first turn, but Rudy's like literally talking down to him, saying that seeing Rise Falcon and that face down call, you think I would fall for an obvious trap? They're brother and sister, so it's obviously they do know each other. They know each other's deck well. They know how it works. It's the same thing when Rin and Yugioh duel. The only difference is that Yugioh didn't know what he was getting into. This time Shun does. and does. So things are very problematic for him. So overall, it's definitely very, you know, it's what you call it. Not it's not a good situation for either duelist. As you know. I gotta give my number five spot to Rudy because number five best signifies what and the monster she summoned five because Rudy she summoned out this little Kuluski cobalt monster. Little Kuluski's like I think it's kind of a play of word on Icarus because Icarus was a first as you know was a man who wanted to fly using high to the sun using fake wings made of clay or something tried to fly, but she got too close to sun and got burned, And her cards kind of remind me of the Harpy Ladies a little bit. My Valentine's Harpy Ladies. But unlike them, they're much weaker, and instead of being strong on their own, if anything, they rely on each other. Like how Crow uses his Black Wings to summon. Remember, she uses their Koluskis to summon other little Koluskis to the field, and this is where the number five sits. She manages to summon five monsters on the field and uses all five to XT summon. Now, we haven't seen a monster use an XT. We haven't seen an XT summon using multiple monsters like that since Zexo, and this is the first time in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh franchise that they have an XT summon using five monsters in the anime before. We've seen other XT summon using four monsters or more, and there've been times when they use Exceed monsters to Exceed summon. I mean, the best example of this being, Vectrex or Tron in the original against Yuma during the World Duel Carnival final. When he summoned out Hell's Request or God Millennium Coat of Arms in the original. It's kind of the same thing. But unlike she summoned how Herlusky assembled Nightingale. It's a very weak monster because it doesn't. From what I can tell, it uses its overlay units for strength. At the same time, I'm dealing direct acts as to his opponent by avoiding their monster. It's kind of like a sneak. It's kind of like you literally chip away at their opponent slowly, like a burn strategy. You chip away at their life slowly, but being a weak monster, you have to find a way to make sure he remains on the field. So number four are Xyz fusion. We get to see Xyz fusion from Ruri. We get to see that Shun he tries his best. He even ranks up his monster, that Blaze Falcon. Expect to destroy a assembly Nightingale, but it doesn't work. Right away because they both know each other well. So they both know their decks inside and out. So as being brother and sister, overall. Oh, I gotta see. I gotta see that this is definitely very unique overall. We get to see the Exceed fusion when she summons out Parasite Fusioner. Now she can fuse his summon. She summons out Little Kuluski, the Independent Nightingale. Like I like the other one, which was which was was rank one. This was level one, and it takes the strength both of Little Independent Nightingale and Parasite Fusion it together. Kind of like how Ring did the same thing. It uses its monsters, its individual parts for strength. And so it's definitely very problematic. Seeing this is very different. Overall. This monster, is a personification of what Academia did. What they did to Rudy and Rin and brainwashing it, summing out these horrible monsters that they've never seen before. These monsters who are literally the embodiment of darkness. Overall, it's definitely right. Seeing Shun how she uses it, she uses fusion summoning against her own brother. He does his best to hold his ground, but he's not gonna let this put him down. Overall, he's still in this duel and he does his best to avoid, only losing. But it's gonna be not gonna be easy. Number two, I'm gonna set this best number two. I'm gonna say this word best because this best word describe the situation. Comrades. Number two because I picked this for number two because it's the last moment. We get to see everything that's been happening in this duel lead up to this moment. Like for example, Shun draws a card, and he has a flashback to what happened back in the Seas dimension before what happened with Academia attacked. He gets to see that during the Clover branch of the Duel Academy over there that there was a tournament between and there was a tournament and it was Sayaka versus Ruri and Ruri lost. Sayaka she wanted to help Ruri give her best card overall by saying hey, it's best maybe to give it to her. I mean they were friends back then. I mean and I mean she wanted to give her her number one card because you are her friend like basically as a sign of friendship that you could trust her. But should he didn't want her to take the card because he thought it wasn't quite right because he didn't want her to take an opponent's card because he wanted her to rely on her own strength, not the strength of others. I know what he did was trying to get Ruri to become stronger, but he really didn't have to knock the card out of her hand. That was such a jerk move. I want to call him something else, but I don't want to be so rude. So and and Dylan from Kuna Stabers that is best. Like he lost all my respect, but I didn't. I didn't understand that. I wanted to wait till I watch the episode till I get the whole story. It was described in the preview, but it was because he understands as now that he met Sakaki Yuya, he met Yuya, he relying on his comrades now being part of the Lancers. And that he's not gonna do this alone, and it's that very same card that Sayaka wanted to give to Ruri that led to his victory. He used his little fairy. Kai gave it to him because he thought it would best help him, and it was that card that led to his victory. He uses her ability. You can throw away one card and increase her level by one, and he does this twice. Makes her a level 5. And he uses a card called Exceeds, and uses both level and treat rank 5 Blaze Falcon as a level 5, and uses both that and Little Fairy to Exceed Summon. He does something called Cross Exceed Summon. Where you can use it's literally an Exceed monster and a regular monster to Exceed Summon, which is something we haven't seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal before. Well, we've seen that in Zexal. We've seen that in Zexal using Exceed monsters to summon. I already said that before. The best version of that was using Vectrex when he used Exceed monsters to summon, and gave them levels to summon out Coat of Arms, or Elegy Crest. It's the best way to describe it. And, it's another thing. I mean, we've seen Rudy use 5 Exceed monsters to Exceed summon before. We haven't seen that success though either, and again, with Shun, it's definitely very interesting. And remember, they come from the Exceed dimension. In the world of the dimensions, since the dimensions are home to the Exceed, are full of the Exceed summon. It's the strongest form of Exceed summon. So it's definitely very unique overall. We also get to see that Rudy. Throughout this whole duel, seeing her brother suffer, seeing her brother duel her, that her true nature's starting to come out. It's the same. It was the same a little bit with Rin after Yugioh destroyed a Crystal Bell. The real Rin came out for a second, but it looks like she was struggling between the darkness in her heart and her true self. In the end, her darkness won and she beat Yugioh, but not this time. It was only through Rudy's true strength that she was able to overcome and help her brother win the duel. Overall, only through that. However, things are not easy because now that the professor and doctor seen what happened, the doctor is going to go back to the lab and see he can make more improvements on that parasite bug. That's just nasty. I don't want to see any more bug monsters like that. Then there's so my number one moment, I'm gonna call it the intruder, because we get to see that Salatari and Crow they manage to find each other, and while in the middle of that they get to see these two Academy duels challenge them to a duel. but at the same time, someone else just stepped into the duel. That's the mysterious duelist. I'm gonna call him the intruder, because that's the best way to describe him. This guy's literally hunting down a duelist, whether they're lancers or academia. They don't care. And Sander, the instructor, knows it. It doesn't matter when you're a friend or a foe. Oh, he's just gonna hunt you down, beat you, then card you. That's it. That's all. That's it overall. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, subscribe. Thank you. This is Sellavin in my latest review on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, episode 119. I'm out. Peace. Bye.